Hi, I'm Alex, and welcome to Super Make Something Basics. Today, we take a look at an intro to CNC machining with help from the FoxAlien 3018 SE. 3D printing has become arguably the most popular way for makers to create objects at home. Whether a machine deposits a bead of material from a spool of filament or cures an entire layer of resin simultaneously, 3D printers all use a form of additive manufacturing, where an object is slowly built up over time. Like its name suggests, subtractive manufacturing is exactly the opposite process. Here, material is slowly removed from a piece of raw material or stock by milling, drilling, cutting, or sawing. While many subtractive manufacturing machines exist, CNC, or computer numerical control machines, are among the most popular way for makers to create parts with this process at home. Even though hobby CNC machines have been available for multiple years, they have often been expensive compared to 3D printers that can make objects at a similar size. Recently, smaller desktop CNCs have become available, which allow makers to begin experimenting with CNC machining without breaking the bank. One of the companies creating such machines is FoxAlien, who make the 3018 SE CNC machine, a fully enclosed 3-axis mill that retails for under $400. Having not purchased a machine since the Shapeoko 2 over 5 years ago, I was excited to see how the state of home CNC machines have progressed and was sent the machine by FoxAlien in exchange for my honest review. Like most CNC machines and 3D printers, the 3018 SE is a DIY kit that needs to be assembled by the user. The CNC arrived in a well-packaged box and included all of the parts and tools needed to build the machine, as well as an SD card with example G-code, cables to power the machine and connect to your computer via USB, a full-color printed instruction booklet, a conductive probe to zero the Z-axis of the machine, and a set of engraving bits to carve letters into wood, acrylic, or aluminum. This unit also comes with a dedicated e-stop button, which is great for immediately stopping the machine in case of an emergency. While building a CNC machine may seem daunting to people who are new to the maker hobby, the process was very straightforward and thoroughly explained in the printed instructions. Since this was the first CNC machine that I was putting together in a few years, I took my time with the build and was able to get everything assembled in about 4 hours. One note is that since I received the machine, FoxAlien now exclusively sells the 3018 SEV2, which already comes half assembled, making the build process even easier. I personally also picked up an offline controller so that I did not have to dedicate a computer to streaming G-code to the machine while it's cutting, as well as a metal vise to easily mount small pieces of stock into the unit. FoxAlien is clearly intending the 3018 SE to be a CNC machine for beginners, so they recommend generating G-code to control the unit using the online software Easel. Easel is a browser-based software originally developed by Inventables for their X-Carve machine and works by either dragging in basic shapes or uploading vector graphics files, configuring some cutting options, and then generating a G-code file that can be downloaded onto your computer. The software makes it easy to create G-code, but the user should be warned that Easel's default settings are for Inventables' own X-Carve machine, which has a 300-watt spindle. The default settings are therefore too aggressive for the 3018 SE, which is shipped with a 60-watt spindle by default. Unfortunately, recommended cut settings for materials are not included in the 3018 SE manual, making it necessary for an individual to Google and experiment until they find values that work with the machine. Since Easel uses vector graphics files, generating G-code to cut 2.5D objects with surface contours is also a bit cumbersome and limited. More serious CNC users will likely look into generating G-code with Autodesk's Fusion 360 software instead, but I was unable to get this working in time for the review due to the large number of G-code generation and export options in this software. To make it possible for people to get up and running quickly, it would be great if FoxAlien would include instructions about how to generate G-code with the software that is compatible with the 3018 SE in future versions of the manual. Once the G-code is generated and the stock is mounted in the machine, the 3018 SE can be controlled either with a USB connection from a PC using the Candle Gribble control software, or using FoxAlien's own offline controller and an SD card. I opted for the latter and was impressed with how responsive the controller was and how easy it was to zero the machine and start cutting. Since the machine's X, Y, and Z axis are controlled with NEMA 17 stepper motors and the spindle is only 60 watts, cut settings need to be very conservative, so cutting will definitely take a while. Unlike 3D printing, milling material is also quite a bit louder and can generate a bit of a mess, which is why I think that the feature that makes the FoxAlien 3018 SE stand out from other 3018 machines is its acrylic enclosure. Not only does this cut down the noise to tolerable levels, it also keeps chips and dust from flying everywhere, which makes it possible to use the machine indoors. While still not quiet compared to a 3D printer, the enclosure makes it significantly less loud than other open-frame 3018 machines. Throughout the cutting process, I needed to clear out the dust every once in a while with a hand vacuum, so it was handy that the machine was close by, though in the future I'll probably 3D print a dust shoe and mount it in the machine to vacuum away chips throughout the cutting process. After about 4 hours, the machine finished cutting a piece for a future project out of a 3/8 inch thick piece of pine, and the results were very impressive. The overall dimensions of the piece were accurate, and the surface finish of the cut edges was smooth and required minimal sanding. Overall, I'm very happy with the FoxAlien 3018 SE, and it will definitely be used in future projects that require parts that cannot be 3D printed. The FoxAlien 3018 SE is a great machine for beginners looking to get into CNC carving. The machine's engraving capabilities and its wide range of accessories also allow a user to customize its capabilities based on their needs and enable it to be used for other projects like making simple, dual-sided circuit boards. While serious CNC enthusiasts may eventually outgrow the machine by wanting to cut other materials like aluminum, the 3018 SE is an inexpensive way to get into the world of CNC and a great machine for smaller projects. In case you're interested in picking one up for yourself, links to where the machine can be purchased online can be found in the video description below. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, please consider giving it a like, sharing it with your friends, and subscribing to my channel. You can also support the production of future episodes by becoming a channel member on YouTube or a patron on Patreon. Well, that's all there is to this episode of Super Make Something Basics. Thanks for watching. Now go Super Make Something.